So thank you for your gratuity. Let me just say a few things. First, I'm thrilled to be here because I'm kind of a gym rat, and I've never seen what my shoes look like being made. So that's actually really a cool thing to see. And it's just amazing the skill and the craftsmanship that goes into each shoe, and the fact that you can now customize, just amazing. So you should be really proud of the work that you put into this, and really proud of what you achieved right here in our country. So thank you for that. Look, the reason I think this is a special place is because what you have built here, this is the American idea, this is the American dream, this is what this country is built on. This is a business founded by an immigrant more than a century ago, has been built into a multi-billion-dollar leader in the industry worldwide. That is a great American story. It is, you know. It's a business that is headquartered right here in Lawrence, right here in the United States, that employs thousands of Americans. It's a business that proudly labels many of its products made in America. I see the signs all over here. Here's the problem. Today, places like this is more the exception than the rule. That's our problem. Companies are not flocking to the United States. Companies are fleeing this country and taking their good jobs with them. They're not storing up their profits and their capital here. They're keeping them offshore. They're not making any of their products in America. They're making them in China. They're making them in India. In 1992, New Balance had an ad. I don't know if you remember this. You had an ad that posed, "If we can make great athletic shoes in America, why can't our competition?"
Right.
Remember that ad?
Yes, I do.
Well,
Very well.
here's one big reason why. Because we have the worst business tax code in the industrialized world. We're doing it to ourselves. The problem is we haven't really done anything about it. It really is just what you said, Jim. It wasn't since Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. We haven't addressed this issue since then. 1986. It's the year I got my driver's license. You know, this is the last time we addressed our tax system and whether or not it's being competitive or not, and whether or not we're helping or hurting American businesses and American manufacturers. Here's how crazy this system is. Right now, big businesses, you know, like this one, they pay a tax of at least 35%. Successful small businesses, that's 8 out of 10 businesses in America file their taxes this way. Successful small businesses, their top tax rate's 44.6%. So we're taxing businesses, job creators, between 35 and almost 45%. Well, you know what overseas is like? Overseas, which where I come from means Lake Superior. Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, so. You know what they do overseas in Canada? They tax their businesses at 15%. Ireland's 12.5%. England's going to 18%. China, 25% and going down. The rest of the world taxes their businesses at an average tax rate of 22.5%. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. This is America saying we're going to tax our job creators, our businesses, between like 35 and 45%. How can we possibly remain competitive with a tax code that actively works against us? And the answer is we can't. So our plan is really simple. It is to get businesses competitive again. We are going to slash the corporate tax rate to level the playing field, and the business tax rate for all businesses to level the playing field for companies like this. We've got to get these tax rates down. Because when we're taxing our businesses at much, much higher tax rates than our foreign competitors are taxing theirs, we're not going to win in that exchange. So what we need to do is we need to throw out those complicated loopholes, those deductions, those special interest loopholes, and then we're going to create a new lower tax rate specifically for manufacturers, for small businesses, for companies like this, for businesses across America so they can actually compete. This will help bring good-paying jobs back from overseas, and it's going to increase our economic competitiveness. We're going to get rid of the ridiculous system that we have that tells American companies, keep your money overseas. I mean, literally what happens is companies that sell products like New Balance shoes overseas, they got to keep that money overseas. They can't bring it back. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the industrialized world that does this now. We literally have trillions of dollars parked overseas to avoid our tax system. This is money that could, and this is money that will, be reinvested in the American economy once our reform is placed. Let and encourage those companies to bring that money back home, reinvest in this country, reinvest in our people, reinvest, pay taxes, build roads, get things done right here in America. That is so essential and so critical. So that is the business side of tax reform. Get our rates down, make us competitive, encourage companies to come back from overseas. We've got to reform that code because it's costing us jobs. Let's talk about workers. Let's talk about families. Right now, we got a tax code that basically no one truly understands, enforced by an agency that no one really likes, the Internal Revenue Service. Think about the sense of dread that you have not knowing how much you're going to pay. That feeling you get thinking about navigating all those forms and all those deductions, that feeling you get from the mere thought of having to deal with the IRS. We're going to simplify all of this. First and foremost, we're going to cut your taxes. You work hard, you work long, and the government's, quite honestly, not making the best of it. I think you could do a whole lot more with your own money, keeping more of it in your own pocket, doing what you will with it, investing in your life and your family. That helps grow this economy. Next, we need to eliminate harmful and burdensome taxes like the death tax. That makes it harder for families to pass businesses on to the next generation. And finally, we need to consolidate these deductions, and we need to double the standard deduction just to make the whole thing simpler so that you can save and make your life less stressful come tax season. Imagine this. Imagine filling out your taxes on the form the size of a postcard. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about simplifying this thing so much that it's so easy. You don't have to go to a tax preparer. You don't have to navigate all these rules and all these deductions and all these loopholes, not knowing what it's going to look like until you're done with the process. Make it easy, make it simple, keep more of what you earn, and get the special interests out of it and give people a postcard-type tax reform. That's what we're talking about. That makes it easier for families. That makes it easier for workers. That helps grow the economy. That helps people in small towns like Janesville, Wisconsin, or Lawrence, Massachusetts. So that is basically a quick overview of what we want to achieve. And the reason we want to achieve this is it's high time to do it. It's ambitious. There are a lot of people who say, oh, gosh, this can't be done. I mean, not since 1986 has it been done. You're going to see a lot of talk like that. That's what the cynical talk in Washington is like these days, and just about every day I've seen in Washington. Don't fall for it. We're going to get this done in 2017. We're going to get this done because we have to get this done. The competitiveness of our economy, the viability of our jobs, making sure that we can be competitive, that we can grow, that we can create, that we can raise families and have faster growth, and not just the economy, but our wages, our standard of living. We cannot miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is a once-in-a-generation moment. It is time to cut taxes and simplify the code. It is time to create jobs and grow our economy. It is time to restore our nation to its full potential. It's time to get this done for our fellow citizens, the American people. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you're gratuitous. You've been so fantastic. You're working hard. You're making a difference. You're raising your families. You're making us proud. You're showing what a true American success story looks like. So thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Want my postcard? Yeah, thank you.